you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to have you here with me. Today, I'm bringing you a review video. So I haven't made one in quite a while. I'll be reviewing the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette. Doesn't this look beautiful? I know, the packaging just gets me. Like, their packaging so cute. Anyway, I'm gonna be doing some swatches and just give my first impression thoughts on this product, this palette overall, and do a little demo on my eyes and see how they pan out, because you know, sometimes swatches on your hand or your arm doesn't look the same as if you were to put them on your eyes. So that's exactly what I'll be doing today. And if you're interested in hearing what I have to say about the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette, then keep on watching. Okay, so I have some notes here and I'm gonna give you some information about this palette. It came out not too long ago by Too Faced. This is a glitter eyeshadow palette. So this palette sells for $45 and it has 8 glitter shades and 2 bases. So if you look in the back here, it'll show you the outline of what the palette would look like. As you can see, you see the 2 bases here, and here there's a white matte base and a black matte base to intensify your glitter, and you have the 8 shades here. So if I read in the back here, it says, step into your very own glitter lab and experience an explosion of creativity with 8 sparkly prismatic glitter bomb shades. Use the white and black matte bases to brighten or intensify the glitters, or apply them wet for a liquid crystal-like finish. Who says you can't wear glitter to breakfast? Okay, so the back of this palette is telling us that you can wet the brush and apply these shadows onto your eyes for a more liquid crystal-like finish. So I'll probably end up trying that out on my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and open this box. So yeah, this isn't the actual palette, this is the box, but I believe the palette looks exactly like this. Like so. The cool thing about it is that each letter has glitter in it. You can see the glitters in this palette and it's so cool. I think it's a neat little touch. If you're a glitter fanatic, this would probably be something that you get excited about. Okay, so I am reading further into the website and it's saying, to shift the color of the eyeshadow, apply shadow insurance, then the black or white base, followed by glitter glue. Pat on the glitter glue and tap glitter shadow onto eye in a pressing motion as needed. I don't have glitter glue in my possession, so I think I'm gonna just improvise and try using like a cream shadow base to help adhere these glitters onto my eyes better. So we'll see how that works out on my eyes by using a cream shadow base instead of, you know, using strictly glitter glue. Okay, so let's open up this palette. I'm sure you guys are dying to see what it looks like. Oh, it's got this little plastic thing that slips out. If you open it up, this is what the palette looks like. It looks very pretty. When I took my first glance at this palette, I just thought, oh, this just looks like a shimmery, colorful palette. But it just seems like when you take a closer look at it, these shadows do have some visible chunkier glitters in there. So I guess that's just kind of the point of this palette. Instead of having, you know, loose glitter in those little pots, you have a pressed form of the glitter. So we'll see how exactly that plays out. So I'm sure you guys are pretty excited, just as I am, to get these swatched onto my arm. So let's go ahead and do that. The first shade I'm gonna swatch with my finger, my clean finger, is the shade called Fairy Dust, and let's just use my arm. So this is Fairy Dust. I think it looks very pretty. My first impression is it does look very glittery and it's pretty pigmented. The next shade is called Confetti. It's kind of like a pinkish purple lilac shade. I'm gonna swatch this shade Confetti onto my arm. It looks very pretty. It's definitely got that chunkiness of the glitter, so it's not like a smooth and creamy metallic shadow. It's definitely chunks of glitter that's pressed into this palette, so you have to be careful of fallout. I'm gonna swatch the next shade called Hot Damn. It's a very purple shade. Yeah, you see like these chunks of glitter here. So you're gonna end up seeing some patchiness, I guess. But that was really pretty. So let's swatch the next shade, Glitter Goals. Swatching it right here. It's like a gunmetal color. That's really pretty too. I love that gunmetal color. It is very multi-dimensional. You kind of see a little bit of purple and different colored hues and different lighting. So I think that's really cool. Next shade I'm gonna swatch is Rosé All Day. I'm moving on to the bottom row, by the way. Rosé All Day. It's kind of like a pinkish champagne-y color. I don't think it's showing up as pigmented maybe as the other ones. But maybe it's because it's really similar to my skin tone. Who knows? But it's really pretty. Definitely really pretty. Next shade is Work It. It almost looks like a reddish, pink, orange. It's kind of a complex color. Yeah, all of these are multi-dimensional in my opinion. And that's what the website claims too, is that it's not just one flat color, it's multi-dimensional. That's a really pretty color. Next shade is this gold, like yellow gold color called Oh It's On. Swatch that right there. That's a really pretty, like almost orangish gold. That's super gorgeous. I love it. The next shade is this emerald green color called Splash. So let's swatch that right here. Splash. It's a very pretty emerald green color. Okay, so let's now swatch the bases. So there's a white matte base. It's called Brightening Base. And the other black matte base, it's called Intensifying Base. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the Brightening Base right here. So it just seems like a very opaque white matte eyeshadow. I'm not quite sure how different it is from just like a regular white creamy eyeshadow, but that's the impression I'm getting. Now I'm gonna swatch the Intensifying Base. So it's like a very matte black eyeshadow, and I'll swatch that right here. With this swatch, I don't think it's the most intense black I've seen, but maybe it's buildable. I don't quite know if I want to use the white brightening base or the black intensifying base at this point. So yeah, those are the swatches. My impression from just doing the swatches on my arms is that yes, it's very gorgeous, very pigmented, but I think you do have to think about fallout when you're doing your makeup look. So maybe you want to do your eyes before you do your foundation and everything else on your face. Something to keep in mind. Alright, I'm gonna take the swatches off with a makeup wipe and we'll move on to the demo. Okay, I'm so excited for this demo portion. There's so many different colors here that I could play with, and I'm not quite sure what direction I want to go with these colors. But while I'm brainstorming, I'm just gonna prime my eyes, I think. These glitter shadows could probably use a good eyeshadow primer to prevent any sort of creasing. And especially for my eyes, if I use any sort of cream shadow, they just crease. That's just how it is. Those are my eyes. Just priming my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the anti-aging version. I just brought you guys in closer so you can see the glitter better on my eyes. So since I kind of want to keep that tackiness on my eyes, I don't know if I want to use these brightening or intensifying bases. But for the sake of showing you guys if it works well, maybe I'll use the brightening and intensifying bases just for you guys. Right, so I'm gonna just take a flat brush. This is just the e.l.f. concealer brush, but honestly you can use any sort of flat brush. And I'll take this brightening base right here. It's just like a really, it really is just like a matte white eyeshadow. Just gonna apply that to the inner, let's say, inner half of my eyes. This is very creamy though. Alright, I'll bring you guys in even closer. So I don't know how close you guys want to be, but I usually like seeing exactly what's being done on the person's face. So I'm gonna just add this white shadow to the inner half of my other eye. And I gotta say, this white eyeshadow is really pigmented. So I'll probably add the lighter colors on the inner half of my eyes. So that's why I decided to use the brightening base, because I want to brighten this area. Alright, now I'm just going to take my MAC 214 brush. It's just like a flat brush. Just adding the shade here called Rose All Day. And putting that where I put the brightening base. Just patting it on here. So first impression, it just honestly doesn't really look like a densely packed glitter on my eyes. It just looks like I put, you know, exactly what I did. I put white eyeshadow down and put a little bit of glitter on top of it. So it's not looking too impressive right now. Going in with a second layer and let's see how that looks. When it's applied just dry like this, it doesn't look very impressive. Like it just looks like, you know, regular old glitter that I just pat on top of my white eyeshadow. So let's try wetting this brush and see how that changes things. You can use water, Fix Plus, any other sort of spray that you like. And I'm gonna add that to the inner half again in a patting motion. So yeah, now I'm seeing a very dramatic improvement of the pigmentation of this particular glitter. Now, mind you, this was the glitter when I swatched it on my arm that looked the least impressive. Maybe because my skin tone is really similar to this glitter, but that could be another thing. I think I know what applying it dry or wet kind of makes it look like. I'm just gonna use this Flower Beauty Eyes on the Prize eyeshadow chubby on top of this white shadow that I had placed, just to create that sticky, more tacky base for the glitter to adhere onto. And we'll see how this improves the color. I'm taking the same shade Rose All Day and I'm gonna apply that onto the lid. I don't know if you guys see this, but there's a significant difference in applying this glitter shadow when I put cream eyeshadow bases on, as opposed to wetting the brush or just applying this brightening base and applying it dry. So it's looking like my method of choice would be to apply a cream eyeshadow onto your eyes first and then applying this glitter, which probably makes me think that if you were to use glitter glue, you know, you would have full-on opacity that, you know, you don't have to worry about it being patchy or anything. So do you guys see that difference? This side looks way more metallic and densely packed than this side. Now, you do have to keep in mind that I did use a pigmented Flower Beauty eyeshadow chubby stick. This is a very golden champagne-y color, so that might have really emphasized the glitter eyeshadow, but the concept is you're using a tacky base to put your glitter eyeshadows onto. So I think if you were to use any other cream eyeshadow base, this would just give you like a very similar outcome. So just to make my eyes match, I'm gonna go ahead and apply that shadow stick over my other eye. Add that Rose All Day shade and pack it on. Okay, so the inner half of my eyes have glitters on them. I'm gonna go ahead and use that chubby stick and add some more of this cream shadow base onto the outer corners. And I will use now the intensifying base to see how well it works with the glitters. I'm now gonna go into the intensifying base and add that on top of the cream shadow base I put on. So it's very black, so gotta be a little careful with the color placement. Let's wing it out a little bit. Okay, intensifying base is on. I'm gonna just pack it on a little more to actually make this look more intense. I guess that's roughly the shape I want. It looks really intense, so hopefully this works out, or else I'm gonna just look like a fool. Wow, this just quickly escalated into a super dramatic look. How does this happen? How does this happen? How? Okay, so I'm just gonna take a different brush, a clean brush now, and I'm gonna apply Work It on top of it. I think it would look really pretty on my eyes. So just apply that right on top of the black shade. And is it intensifying it? I don't know. So this is what happens when you apply the glitter shadow on top of your black base dry. Well, not exactly dry. I still added that cream eyeshadow as a base. Should we try applying it, you know, wet on the other eye? I think that's a good idea. And wet the brush. And add that onto my eye. I think this makes it look a little more intense. More like a liquefied crystal, as the website claimed. Oh, I think it's becoming way more true to color when I wet it and I take a lot more of the glitter. You know, I think not all the shades were created equal in this palette. This Work It color is definitely coming off way more pigmented on my eyes than, for example, Rosé All Day. The Rosé All Day is hardly visible. Well, the sudden change in lighting is brought to you by the blinds making lines on my face that I didn't want. I wanted to put some transition shade on the edges of my shadow just to soften out the look. I'm just using this MAC Bamboo eyeshadow. It's just a matte shadow. That's a really good transition shade, and I'm gonna add that to the edges. Okay, much better. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this, but definitely wetting the brush first and then applying it on top of the intensifying black base really helped it make it a little more true to color. So I think in this lighting, it's easier for you guys to see that Rosé All Day shade in the inner corners, but it's still not intense enough to kind of make everything mesh together with this, you know, very intense Work It shade that I have. Okay, so let's go ahead and add something a little more interesting. Should we add the gold shade? I'm kind of dying to use that yellowish gold shade. I'm just gonna try applying it with a packing brush first. I don't know if this is gonna ruin the look, but yellow. I think this is turning out really pretty. What do you guys think? I think it looks really multi-dimensional and it makes more sense than this Rosé All Day shade. Is this dramatic enough for you guys? I'm just gonna add some more of that gold shadow on the inner lower corner. Taking my Japanese liquid waterproof eyeliner and lining my eyes. Guess what? I think I'm gonna add a pair of false lashes this time. I'm just gonna go in with these pair of lashes from Eyelure Luxe. It's the Opulent Mink Effect lashes. They're a very fluffy, very pretty and long pair of lashes that look a little natural too. I'm gonna apply them and I'll be right back. I have my lashes on now. They look very fluffy and dramatic, and I think they added that glam factor right away. So there you have it. That is my final look, and I think I really like how it came out. It's very dramatic, but it's really fun, you know? It's a lot of fun getting to play with a new product and being able to test them out on my eyes and see how the palette inspires me to create a certain look. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's move on to my final thoughts regarding this Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette. So overall, when I swatched this palette on my arm at first, I thought that glitter shadows were incredibly pigmented and there wasn't really much for me to complain about. You know, it is very flaky because those are supposed to be loose glitters that are in a pressed format. You expect that to be a little flaky, you know, it's not like a very creamy eyeshadow. This is an actual pressed glitter palette. I think what I really like about this palette is that it's, you know, unique in the sense that I don't think I've ever seen any other eyeshadow palette that was a pressed loose glitter palette. That's really unique about this palette and I really can appreciate that. I also really love the packaging. I love how there's loose glitters in each of these letters and you can shake them around and you can see all the glitters, and I think that's just a really fun touch, and I actually really do care about packaging. That's what gets me. Fun packaging like this really draws me in, and I can appreciate the effort that they went through to create this kind of palette. One thing though is that this is cardboard, so it's not, you know, plastic or other high quality containers. But yeah, I wish it wasn't cardboard and it was plastic or even metal, but that's a very little complaint. I like that the palette itself is pretty small. It's thin and pretty narrow, so I like that, you know, it's not a really bulky, chunky palette. One thing that I think I would have appreciated more is if we didn't have these intensifying bases and had like 4 more shades. Like for example, I would have loved seeing some sort of a bronzy glitter. I would have loved to see a more rose gold glitter. That would have been really pretty. Even some sort of like a blue glitter would have been really pretty. I think these bases didn't really do much for me. I mean, everybody has a black eyeshadow and a white eyeshadow if they want to use it. Though I didn't particularly find the white eyeshadow or white brightening base all that helpful. I guess I didn't really see the point. If these were cream bases, that might have been a different story, but these are just plain black and white matte eyeshadows. If there were 4 more shades in the place of these 2 bases, I think I would have appreciated that more. Otherwise, the colors they selected, I think they're pretty fun to play with. Just this rosé all day color for me didn't look that impressive on my eyes. It might be like a really good daytime glitter look. I think for a lot of creative minds, if you were to take a look at this palette, there are a million possibilities of creating different looks. So do I think it's worth $45? Now you get 8 glitter shades plus 2 bases. So those are 10 individual pans for the price of $45, which makes it $4.50 per pan. When you put it into perspective of how ColourPop charges like around $5 for their eyeshadows, I think this is well worth $45. I think for glitter lovers, this is a really nice palette to have in your collection. If you love collecting makeup like I do, you can just pull it out for inspiration whenever you want to create a fun glittery look. I think this is a great palette. For those of you that aren't really into color, that aren't into, you know, super dramatic glittery looks, maybe this isn't for you. This is definitely for people that love that color, that glitter, that drama, you know? So just keep that in mind. If you are the type of person that doesn't really gravitate towards the glittery dramatic looks that I have on right now, then maybe this wouldn't be the perfect palette for you. So with that said, I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. So I hope you guys found this review helpful and maybe it gave you a better idea of what this product actually is and what it does for you for the price of $45. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm thinking of putting up another review video very soon on the new Naked Heat palette, so keep your eyes out for that one. I really appreciate you guys supporting me as always. Please subscribe if you haven't already and make sure to press that little cute notification bell to make sure you're notified whenever I put out a new video. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, and join the Facebook group. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you guys!